Hello and welcome to round 3 of the F1 2018 Equal Cars Career Mode, where once again I'm going to do absolutely jack all and commentate on AI drivers and mock Dylan's driving. So here we are now for one-shot qualifying, in which I'm immediately going to retire because why not? So yeah, now we're going to see who's in front. Of course, last time it was Vettel and Alonso, so this time I'm saying it's Leclerc again! Goodness me, this guy's unstoppable, and it's Perez as well. Perez and Leclerc overpowered, but this time we have Ricciardo up front as well. But Leclerc unchallenged into sector 1, even so Ricciardo's coming at him now. Leclerc's down to 3rd. Here goes Alonso, the home man, up into P2. Can Alonso finally get a pole position? Alonso's been doing, he's had such bad luck in this career mode, and you can see Max Verstappen and Hamilton once again not doing that well. Raikkonen, what is Raikkonen doing? I mean, Raikkonen's had a 3rd successive bad qualifying. Bottas in 15th place. Shady Onyx once again is going to be starting from the back, but that's where he starts. Well, that's what he does best from. I mean, he gained like 6 positions at the start last time. But you see, Valtteri Bottas is battling for Ericsson. Ericsson's somehow in P12. So that's something odd there, but you can see the top 3 remain the same. But Alonso, the home man, on P1 so far. Can he actually finish it? Vettel inside the top 5. This is pretty much the same top 5 as last time, even so Ricciardo is now actually finally pulling some stuff together. The other home man hero, Carlos Sainz, also doing really well. So both Spaniards doing pretty well indeed, as Sainz is going to finish 6th. But Alonso is going to get pole position to be wide on board with him. And it's actually only by 600ths of a second in the end, but it's enough. And yeah, brilliant stuff from Alonso there. Really, really impressive. So he came 2nd last time. He's got 1st this time. Surely he's not going to DNF again. My man deserves more luck than that. So yeah, well done to Alonso. And it's looking good for him right now. 600ths of a second ahead of Ricciardo. Of course, the last time he won was literally the last time Kimi Raikkonen won. So he is definitely looking for, well, before USA Grand Prix, of course. But I mean, he's definitely looking for a good result today if he can follow this through. Leclerc once again, ever consistent.
Van Dorn's ahead of Raikkonen.
Ever consistent. Leclerc in P3, Vettel P6, P5, and Perez once again P4. So Leclerc and Perez, being the underdogs of this series, have done really well. Carlos Sainz as well, back to his usual form. Actually ahead of Hulkenberg this time. Hulkenberg's been ever consistent as well. Ocon and Verstappen have also been quite good. Of course, they sort of grew up in F3 together. And Hamilton once again disappointing, qualifying P10 this time, even worse than last time. But we know how deadly he is in the race. Of course, he hasn't actually had to do much overtaking in the last few years, but now he has had to do overtaking. He's been doing quite a lot of it, so he's been doing quite well there. But whole 5.5 tenths off Alonso. So I don't think he was ever that far off his teammate 10 years ago. Of course, he dominated China, but this is quite worrying from Hamilton. Even Vettel's 3 tenths of Alonso. So Alonso really pulling out the bag. Gasly and Bottas tying, and they're behind Ericsson, as Shady Onyx said, which is not that good at all. And they're nearly behind Van Dorn as well. So not going well there. And Raikkonen behind all of them. So once again, Bottas and Raikkonen struggling. Sort of showing that they're the second men of the team. But Bottas was doing so well. Now he's beginning to struggle. And Raikkonen, he's going to have another lucky pit stop. He's not had a good start to this career mode at all after doing so well from 11th place last time. But here we are now. We're going to go into the race. Once again, I'm going to cause a yellow flag into turn 1 because that's what I do best before retiring. So yeah, I mean, any thoughts? I mean, I don't know, Alonso surely should be able to win from the front. Even so, we had a surprise winner in Leclerc last time out, but it could have easily been Perez actually.
Oh, it's raining at the end.
Oh, so that's going to spice things up. Well done for Shady Onyx actually looking that up. Of course, me being the commentator, I'm not actually looking at that sort of things. I'm just ready to retire as soon as the lights go out. I'm once again sort of clouding out the lights. I actually don't know when they're going to go out, but as soon as I see people move, I'm going to retire from the session. And here we go. Shady Onyx getting quite a good start, but he's not going to be able to overtake anyone until the yellow flag actually ends. And what happened there?
He broke on the straight.
Okay, did you lose front wing?
You're not supposed to do that.
Did you lose front wing?
Yeah. What?
Who was that?
Why did he break on the... yeah.
Oh, obviously it's Grosjean. He always takes out people at Spain. But you see Alonso leads Raikkonen into sector 1 as Shady Onyx's luck goes from bad to worse this series. It's not going well at all for him, even so he could take advantage of the strategy towards the end, so I wouldn't count him out for a points finish. He has been improving throughout the season, but again, not the start he would have wanted. But Charles Leclerc in P3, just ahead of Perez, and Vettel as well, just behind these guys. Hulkenberg in 6th, and Carlos Sainz in 7th, but cheer up Shady Onyx, at least you're doing better than Stroll would do if he was in your position right now, so that's the one thing to look at. Even so, yeah, you can see the top 8 sort of in a procession. Not really any movers or shakers. Even so, Ericsson unsurprisingly down 2 positions. So once again, he is struggling off the back. And yeah, I never really expected him to do well. And so once again, Hulkenberg has absolutely scored his teammate, getting him off the start, and he's looking for 3 out of 3 ahead of his teammate. Of course, the Spaniard wants to have a good race. Meanwhile, Alonso absolutely determined. He's run in front of his home crowd in Valencia. He's run in front of his home crowd here, and he's got set the fastest lap of a 1:24.0, and he's already got an 0.8 of a second gap over Ricciardo. But Leclerc, once again, ever consistent, championship leader in P3. Where's Hamilton? Nowhere to be seen. In P11. Right now, Leclerc is in the commanding seat in the championship. He's the only one so far to get a double podium in the first 2 races, and he could get a third, because right now he's already beginning to drop Perez. Even so, Perez has really impressed me. The top 3 from last race, Perez, Leclerc and Vettel, and to be honest, Alonso was up there before he DNF'd as well. The top 3 from that race are also going to be pretty much the top 4 in this race, so pretty good there. And of course, Ricciardo is back on his usual form. Even so, Hamilton actually lost the position at the start. As you can see, actually this looks like going to be quite an interesting battle between the 2 F3 sort of protagonists, if you like, in 2014. As Ocon disappears, Vettel actually gets a lag spike, and goodness me, I don't think they have to contend with this in real life. But all of a sudden, Leclerc is down to P4, Hulkenberg's down to P3, and I think Leclerc Vettel had a lag spike. Hasn't affected the lead 2, but all of a sudden the lead 2 have a 3-second gap over Hulkenberg. Leclerc and Perez and Vettel, all the top 3 from last race, are now down into the midfield. So that's really surprising. And Verstappen, as a result, is now right on the back of Vettel. And Ricciardo sets the fastest lap. He's now in search of Alonso. So yeah, really interesting. So Shani Onyx must have had a lag spike there, because yeah, a few of the cars actually getting affected by that. So interestingly, how it's not all of them. So that's really shaped up the race, and as a result, Vettel finds himself P7, and Hamilton's actually not too far behind Leclerc now. Actually, he still is, but Leclerc could have really got a triple podium, but still, Hulkenberg, for the first time in his life, albeit it has been because of a lag spike, he is in P3. So if Hulkenberg can hold on to it and do what he didn't do in 2012, in which he actually could have fought with a win in that Brazil race, but no, this time he is actually in the podium spot, and Carlos Sainz is in P5, so the Renault boys doing really well, considering they're actually not doing that well in constructors right now. And a big gainer of all this is Kimi Raikkonen. He's got Bottas, he's got Gasly, and he's got Van Dorn, and he's about to get Ericsson as well, who somehow has actually maintained position of the line, as Ocon once again has had a terrible start. So Ocon good in qualifying, absolutely horrible in the race, being outperformed by his teammate once again, as Vettel was closing in on Ericsson. But yeah, Perez really schooling Ocon in the last 2 races. It hasn't been good at all, as Hamilton now riding the curb a bit too hard for my liking. Of course, that curb does spin you, so you have to be quite careful. But of course, the AI know what they're doing, for the most part anyway. As you can see, Hulkenberg leads this train, but the question is, will he be in P3 for much longer? He's already dropped another second to Ricciardo up ahead, as Alonso now looking like he's guaranteed a top 2 finish. But Leclerc wants a podium. He probably wasn't going to get the lead anyway, so this is probably what he would be fighting for anyway, but he's going to get it around the outside of Hulkenberg, and he's going to get it cleanly. And this is why he's in the championship lead right now. He gets Hulkenberg, and now Sainz is all over the back of Hulkenberg. Can Sainz compete for a podium in this home track? Well, we'll see. But right now, Leclerc already beginning to drop Hulkenberg, and if he can set off and to the guys up ahead, this guy is an absolute genius. Even so, don't cut out these 3. But Vettel, Verstappen and Hamilton, arguably the 3 best drivers on the grid. As soon as there's a bit of rain in the air, they will capitalise. So yeah, once again, they are probably going to do quite well. But of course, after the incident at the beginning, it is Grosjean and Shani Onyx unfortunately at the back. Shani Onyx just over a pit stop behind Grosjean. So yeah, he is actually on the soft, so he could take those tyres quite late into the race until it starts raining. So I don't know when it is going to start raining. I think Shani Onyx probably knows that better than me. So to go up front again, you can see there's a bit of a recession here. Gasly behind Raikkonen. Gasly really revving that engine in Gear 4. I mean, that's really odd driving. He hasn't got out of Gear 4 in a long time. He still is in Gear 4. He finally shifts into Gear 5. But wow. God, he's really revving that engine to 13,000 revs per minute. So, yeah, really odd driving stuff from Gasly. And he must be running in the lead, and he's probably running out of fuel. Here comes Raikkonen now. Can he get Ericsson? That is the question. As Bottas, once again, is actually quite far down. So not going well for Bottas. Raikkonen not quite able to get Ericsson, as Hamilton's still in P10, so not gaining as many positions as we thought. And Verstappen now still over the back of Vettel, so they haven't actually been able to do anything, as Leclerc also hasn't been able to pull away. But Ricciardo is right on the back of Alonso, and Ricciardo, the honey badger, of course, he could have won in well, he was near the front in China. He won China in real life, but we should be expecting him to be podiums more often than he has, and he looks like he is going to be competing for that lead right now with Alonso. After the lag spike, they are well ahead of Charles Leclerc. He could have been up there as well, but almost, I think, for the championship's sake, I think the lag spikes almost saved the championship, because right now it looks like Charles Leclerc is running away with it a bit too easily for my liking, as because he's Kevin Magnussen as well in the slipstream of Max Verstappen. That is the battle for P8 right now. So yeah, no really close battles right now. I think the closest is definitely in this midfield group, which stretches all the way from P3 all the way down to, I think, P15 really.
How far is Grosjean behind the person in front of him?
2 seconds.
Okay.
So yeah, Shady Onyx still has a chance. As you see, the leaders pit on lap 5. So I don't know what they're pitting onto. This could be a mistake. Shady Onyx could technically be back in the race if he can stretch these tyres to the inter period. But you can see everyone's in the pit, and Ricciardo's going to get held. Oh, we've seen this all too often. Can he find a gap? He's finally been released, but where's Alonso going to be released? Is Alonso going to be released at all, is the question. Alonso still gets released in front of him, and all that 4-second gain has been negated, as Charles Leclerc's in the pit as well. He's going to lose out big time, and Charles Leclerc's going to go right to the back of the pack. So once again, Charles Leclerc affected again, and he's actually behind Hamilton, his championship rival. So it looked like Leclerc was going to be doing so well, and all of a sudden, Hulkenberg is now back into a podium position, net podium position, and there's a chance of the lead. And yeah, you now got Verstappen coming on to attack from Magnussen, but he's now effectively a net P. Well, I don't know where he's going to come out actually in all this, but you see Hamilton now all over the back of Vettel once again. So these two battling, even so Vettel, of course, finished just ahead of Hamilton last time, but he had a really poor showing in China. So as a result, Hamilton is quite a bit ahead of him, and of course Leclerc as well. So arguably the best 3 drivers right now, all within quite a bit of each other. But yeah, I think all the front runners are pit, so Shane Onyx still has a chance, because although he's 10 seconds behind Leclerc, you have to remember Leclerc is about P5, so right now I think the likes of Grosjean and Van Dorn could actually be overtaken by Shady Onyx if they're not careful enough. But you see a Sainz will pit from the lead. This is really interesting. Now we're going to go on board with Fernando Alonso, who's actually already nearly on the back of Grosjean, so this guy's an absolute jog. So here we are now, so he actually closed. So Alonso already going to get around Grosjean. And you see Ricciardo behind him as well, actually quite a bit behind him, as they're all going to overtake. You see Alonso climbing the order as Magnussen actually stays out, so does Gasly. So I don't know what they're on. They're on the ultras as well. And Gasly, what is he doing? He's revving that engine to absolute kingdom come. He's nearly reaching 14,000 revs, and that's not healthy, son. You're not in a V12 car, you can't exactly do that. And you're meant to be saving the planet. Goodness me, these youngsters these days. Well, you can see actually Vettel all over the back of Perez, so that should be interesting. And actually Sainz splits Hamilton and Vettel, so once again the overcut hasn't really hurt. And actually Marcus Ericsson finds himself at the back again. I mean, what can this guy do? He qualifies so well, and now he's actually coming under attack from Shady Onyx, who's already had to pit for 1 wing damage. So Shady Onyx could be back in this race, so watch out for him, as another big loser is, well, definitely Charles Leclerc. He's down to 11th place, and all of a sudden his championship lead is sort of evaporated in front of him. He was looking at a triple podium, but once again he sort of had the curse on the pit lane. Of course, with them being so close this season, it is impossible for everyone to get a clean pit entry, and unfortunately Charles Leclerc has sort of suffered as a result. Verstappen in 10th and Hamilton actually gaining in all of this. He's now in 9th. Of course, Hulkenberg's actually oh, sorry, I have to add 2 positions onto everyone because I forgot. You've got these 2 in the pits, and somehow I think there must be a glitch with Gasly because he's still revving it at 14,000 revs per minute going into the pit lane. But that's not what we care about. Alonso's going to take the lead. Ricciardo's going to take 2nd. Where is Magnussen actually going to come out in all this? I don't actually know. As they come out now, it could actually be near the back because they stand out quite a long time, but they should have the freshest tyres of everyone. As you can see, they're actually going to come out just behind Magnussen. So just behind Leclerc. So Magnussen's still at the tail end of the points. So Magnussen and Gasly done actually a really good strategy there. They could technically be near the front now, as you can see again, Stoffel, Van Dorn, Ericsson actually getting caught by Shady Onyx quite quickly now. So that should be quite interesting. They're there, but right now Gasly coming under attack from Bottas. Of course, nothing's really going to happen in the infield section. And Verstappen again coming under attack from Hamilton. So I think Hamilton's actually been overtaken by Verstappen. I think Verstappen was behind him, so something has happened there. And it even looks like Leclerc wants to get past him. Of course, these 2 championship rivals are right now both outside the top 7, so not really looking too good for them. And Vettel as well, quite near the front, and Alonso finally getting some good luck, 3 seconds out in front. So Alonso looks like he finally should be able to get it as Leclerc gets the better of Hamilton, who now is actually coming under attack from Magnussen as well on those fresh tyres. Can Magnussen do Hamilton? He completely doesn't. Around the outside of that corner, lovely move from Magnussen. And it looks like Hamilton is struggling, because now Raikkonen's behind him. I don't know where Raikkonen's come from. He's gained 5 positions at the start. Raikkonen's done a hell of a good job, to be honest. Once again, he's gaining a lot of positions after another really poor qualifying. And Hamilton is falling through the order like a lead balloon right now. And something's really wrong with him. Of course, we've seen this happen to, I think, Bottas and Vettel in the last 2 races. And once again, Hamilton just completely dropped off the back of Magnussen already in the course of a sector, and something's wrong with his car. He's now going to get overtaken by Gasly as well. Hamilton is down to P13, guys, and you see, I don't know what Raikkonen's doing there. Hamilton's going to fight back against Gasly, but Gasly's going to have none of it. He's going to force him out rise. Hamilton's going to have to fall back, and you see Bottas as well forces his way through, and there's somebody else. Who's this? Ocon as well. So Hamilton loses another 4 positions. And something is definitely wrong, guys. He goes defensive. He can do nothing against the Ocon. He's going to drive clean round his outside. Inside Ocon's actually not quite there. He's going to have the inside line though. He's going to dive up the inside. Can Hamilton defend? The answer is probably no. And yeah, it definitely is no. I mean, he's on the outside line, but he's actually managed to hold it. For the engine power just lacking on Hamilton's car right now. He has to concede the position. So yeah, not going well for Hamilton right now. He's got Hartley behind him, and Shady Onyx will still be behind. Soon be behind him as he gets Van Dorn. And Ericsson for once isn't in last place. Praise the Lord, Ericsson's finally doing well, and he probably is going to get demoted for last place, because Alonso, who is currently last place, is currently winning the race by a whole 3.5 seconds. So it's a shame, because Alonso could have got top 10 in China. He definitely could have got the win last time out. Of course he DNF'd, but now he's definitely looking like he can get the win. Hopefully I don't jinx him again. If he DNFs this race, that would be really, that would be a great shame indeed. But you see, Carlos Sainz actually trying to close on to the back of Vettel, and he's actually gaining quite a lot, so Carlos Sainz could actually be in battle for P4. Vettel once again not as impressive as I thought he would be, and Verstappen as well, beginning to actually gain a few positions. I mean, where's Hamilton? Oh yeah, sorry, Hamilton's been plummeting through the field. So is Ericsson, and yeah, Leclerc now finds himself 3 seconds behind Verstappen, but at least he's still in the points. His chance.
Whoa, something happened to Grosjean. Something happened to Grosjean.
And
I kind of killed Ericsson.
As Ericsson is, actually, nothing's actually really happened to Ericsson. But Shady Onyx is up into 17th place. You can see Hamilton and Grosjean up ahead. And talking of Hamilton, he's going to surely get overtaken by Grosjean, because Hamilton is going so slowly right now. And something's really gone wrong for the guy who could have taken the lead in the championship after Leclerc's had a lot of issues as well. And picking up the pieces, Alonso could catapult himself from last into, I'm even calling P3 right now, because Ricciardo's not exactly that high up himself. Alonso, actually no, Ricciardo will be on 27 points if it finishes how it is, so he will be P3. And Hulkenberg as well, ever consistent. He actually could also be vying for that P3. So can Vettel. So that battle for P3 really competitive right now, because of course Bottas is out the points, and of course he currently occupies that P3 after his really good result last time. As it's Shady Onyx battling with his idol Lewis Hamilton. Should be interesting there, but of course Hamilton has nothing to fight with that engine, and Shady Onyx is slowly making his way through the field, but of course he knows where rain's coming, and this should be really interesting now up at the front, because it looks like it's stabilising the field. But if rain does actually come, I can't actually see any yet, then we could actually have quite an interesting race, as Gasly once again is going to defend from Raikkonen. See, as we go up to the front as well. Yeah, once again Perez actually closing on to the back of Vettel. Verstappen's going to join this train for P4. So yeah, again, if they do have to pit for inters in the next few laps, then it should be interesting to see if Verstappen can actually jump all of these guys in the pits, or if Leclerc can actually get a good pit stop this time. Right now he can actually still see them, but he's beginning to drop Magnussen, so Leclerc's been really impressive once again today, considering he's had to overcome that issue. But he could have been a triple podium sitter, but right now I don't think anyone's going to have that honour. I don't even think anyone's going to have 2 podiums apart from Leclerc right now. But right now Hulkenberg is actually still in a podium spot, so you never know, Hulkenberg can get his first podium in F1. Of course, he has got the record right now, the one rather unenvious record of being the driver with the most races without getting a podium. But he looks like he could finally break that curse, as I've just gone on board with Shady Onyx. I don't know what's happened there. He's gone right into the back of Ocon. And have you lost front wing?
Changing my MFD, yeah.
You lost a bit front wing because of that?
Yeah.
Alright. Shishing's looking good for Shady Onyx. Bad luck catches him once again, as I catch him just going into the back of Ocon. But you see Verstappen now around the outside of Perez. This could be the battle for P6, because Perez did so well last time, but Verstappen is so good at overtaking. He's going to do him around the outside. This is not a place you want to overtake Verstappen. Can he do it? That's the question. He's actually managed to pull it off, and he's still side by side. Verstappen's still going to have to be on the outside of this corner. He's losing a lot of time, but I don't think he cares. He likes the thrill of making these impressive moves stick, and this is actually going to mean he has the inside line. We've seen this move being pulled off once before, but Verstappen's going to hold it around the outside of 2 different corners. He's going to give him the inside of this corner, and Perez is finally going to have to give up the position. So what a move there for Verstappen as he goes defensive into this corner. Perez tries to cut back, but nothing much really happening. That's just really losing them time. As Charles Leclerc is now right behind them. As Magnussen's out the race. Magnussen is out the race in a big pile of smoke. So
safety car.
after a really bad race last time, Magnussen once again is still on 0 points. So Magnussen really looked like he could get points this race, and now that means Kimi Räikkönen is now back into the points, just behind Gasly. So yeah, is there any yellow flags? I don't know, but it doesn't show up as yellow flags on my screen. So I think Charlie Whiting once again reluctant to show the safety car.
Yeah, there is yellow flags.
There are no safety car as of yet, but Alonso right now, the ever-dominant Spaniard, driving away in his home Grand Prix. Ricciardo can't even see him. Alonso's 5 seconds up the road, and it looks like Alonso finally can break his curse. Or so I think. I don't really want to jinx him, but unfortunately Hulkenberg, it might not be so lucky for him, because of course he was about to try to break his curse of not getting a podium, but he's got Vettel over the back of him, and of course Vettel has a point to prove after not getting the win last time, where he was definitely expected to get the win. He didn't get it last time, so he wants to get a podium this time, so he can be the only driver apart from Leclerc to get a double podium so far. And of course you can see Carlos Sainz behind these guys as well, but Alonso should be back in the fight if he can, because right now Leclerc's actually not got many points, and neither is Hamilton, so you never know, it could actually close up the championship fight, as Hamilton's now down to P17. Unfortunately Shelley Onyx
has to be a safety car.
Again, there's no safety car, as Magnussen is still parked off to the side of the road, so Luck's just not going Shelley Onyx race right now, as once again Vettel is all over the back of Nico Hulkenberg. I think Charlie Whiting not really wanting to show a safety car just yet, and unfortunately that's completely ruined Shelley Onyx race, as he wants. I think actually Marcus Ericsson looks like he's about to overtake somebody in the form of Ocon. Actually no, he's not going to quite get there, as we go back towards the front again, scrolling through quite a lot of people, and things happen to Vettel. I think it's another lag spike, and as a result Carlos Sainz actually close into him, but Max Verstappen has once again got Sergio Perez, so these guys battling it out. I think Max Verstappen's got quite a few 6th places from memory, so you never know, he could actually be inheriting that 3rd place. But to be honest, I think anyone in this top 7 right now could actually be inheriting this 3rd place of Valtteri Bottas, because they're all pretty much up there. And of course you've got Leclerc, again he's going to be maintaining his championship lead over Hamilton, who should still manage to keep 2nd. Of course Leclerc might actually be able to get a few positions more, as Verstappen and Perez have been fighting so much that they could easily lose their position. But Raikkonen right now in P9, and Bottas as well, trying to look for that final points position, which is quite now occupied by Pierre Gasly. Of course he hasn't actually got many good finishes Gasly has yet, so of course he got really unlucky with the safety car last time out, so he's going to try to get Raikkonen back again. He should be more than close enough. And here we go now, up the inside, he actually breaks him. I don't know what's going on there. He sort of backed out of that move, and he's sort of done a Bottas there. He's sort of backing out of a move last minute, so I don't know what's going on there. As you see now, he's going to head to the back straight. Vettel is sort of in a Renault sandwich right now, as Hulkenberg tries to secure a podium, but would Sainz love to get a podium and make it a double Spaniard podium, go on the podium alongside his idol. That would be a dream for Sainz. But right now it looks like Vettel is going to try to spoil the party, the Renault party right now. He's going to go around the outside of Hulkenberg, and Hulkenberg still looks like he's not going to have a podium, because Vettel has got past him, and I don't think I should write off Hulkenberg right yet, but Vettel definitely does have the pace to pull away, and although the top 2 look settled, the battle for 3rd still is raging on, but Vettel looks like he is in the controlling seat right now. As you can see, Verstappen once again side by side with Perez. Can Perez get revenge on Verstappen? The answer is no. Verstappen actually cuts him off quite aggressively, so that's Verstappen for you. As Leclerc is now right on the back of these guys, so once again quite an interesting final few laps, and man, no rain in sight, so I think it's going to be soft tyres to the end. So I think the rain's just come a bit too late for Shelley Onyx, even so he is gaining on Hamilton quick, so he could still get on the back of his idol, who is really slow right now, dropping tenths every sort of split to these guys. So yeah, when you're dropping time to Marcus Ericsson, it's not good news, and that's what Esteban Ocon's doing right now. And Van Dorn actually could be under attack from Ericsson in the battle for the worst Even so, yeah, Hartley's actually doing quite well actually in P12, well for Hartley anyway. But Raikkonen once again is actually in P10, and he's actually he's gonna try to attack Gasly. He actually finally got his engine sorted out, so finally he's not over revving it. So yeah, I don't know what's happened there. It must have been a technical glitch. But you see Gasly is actually well ahead of Raikkonen. He's actually quite a bit ahead of Bottas, so no moves are going to happen there on the straight. You can see actually Verstappen's been overtaken by Perez again, and I think that's not the only move.
Car still on the side of the track and it's still yellow flags.
You can see Hulkenberg now on the outside of Vettel, and Vettel's actually in the podium spot, so yeah, as Shane is saying, still no overtaking on arguably the second most prominent straight on the track, so that should be really interesting because all the moves are going to have to happen on that long back straight. But Vettel finally gets the better of Hulkenberg, and it looks like Hulkenberg's party has been spoiled, and Sainz is right on the back of these guys as well, so it could be a double top 5 finish for Renault for the first time in their history since 2007 or 2006 if I'm not mistaken. You can see Hulkenberg right on the back of Vettel again. Again, he can't overtake Vettel, so I mean, I wondered why Gasly pulled out of a move last race and last lap. I think it's because you just can't overtake down on that straight because of Magnussen's car, so it's really causing problems. And as a result, there's not really any overtakes, and it's all going to have to come down to the last lap. So I think Perez could have counted his chickens wrong, because Verstappen's going to have a really big toe down this long back straight for the final time, as Alonso now has a 7-second gap. He looks ever dominant out front. As yeah, any news up front? No, I think Vettel will finally get that P3. So Hulkenberg's gaining rapidly. Hulkenberg wants that podium bad. He's going to go to the outside. He's going to cleanly get Vettel, and Vettel's going to try to get him back up the inside, but Hulkenberg is going to get his childhood dream of getting a podium. And right now, it looks like it is going to happen. What a move from Hulkenberg. Oh, you can see that. Is that Verstappen on the outside? And Perez? Yes, it is. And Perez now has to fight. And once again, Verstappen on the outside. But we've seen him do it once before. Perez this time wise to actually defend it. And it looks like Perez is actually defend P6 from Verstappen, who is going to defend P7 from Leclerc. And yeah, Raikkonen as well, losing out to Gasly. So I think that's pretty much going to be it. As you can see, Ericsson's actually got past Van Dorn. So well done to Ericsson for not finishing last. I know it's hard for you, son, but you managed to do it this race. Yeah, you can see now, Shane Onyx as well.
Something very wrong with Hamilton.
Yeah, Shane Onyx overtakes Hamilton. You can definitely see there's something wrong, as Hamilton's now 11 seconds behind everyone else. It's not been a race. It's been definitely a race to forget for him. There's only been one other DNF, unlike I think that was 4 or 5 last race. But yeah, this is probably going to be how it ends, as Alonso is going to go across the final corner. He will get his victory in Spain. He will break his curse of successive DNFs, and he will get his first victory in quite a few years actually. As you can see, Vettel is not going to get Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg will also break his curse, and he will get a podium. And Vettel will not. As you can see, if you control a bit further down again, Verstappen will not get Perez, and Leclerc will not get Verstappen. So that is the top 10 sorted. Raikkonen in the end beating out Bottas, and yeah, Hartley a bit behind them, and Grosjean 14.5 seconds behind Hartley. So we've really got a train of losers right now. We've got Grosjean, Ericsson and Van Dorn, and Ocon is, well, quite a bit behind them as well, but I think that's because he had a collision with Shani Onyx. He's actually been able to gain quite quickly on Ocon. He's actually closing them down to about 6.8 seconds to go for the final split, but you can see that there's something definitely wrong with Hamilton. He's already 5 seconds behind within a few laps, or within a lap of Shani Onyx. So as Shani Onyx crosses the line, he will end the race. And yeah, well done to Alonso though. He breaks his curse. I was sort of going on about how unlucky he was at the beginning of the race, but he's finally broken this curse. But yeah, still, I think driver of the day has to go to Nico Hulkenberg. He has been aided a bit by a couple of lag spikes, but he did really well to hold off a 4-time world champion, Sebastian Vettel, and get his podium, which is really hard considering he's been in this position a lot of times now. And of course, he just hasn't been able to sort of take it to the end. But this time he finally does get the podium he has deserved for so long. And you can see he's happy on the podium. So once again, a completely different podium to last time. And for once, there's no Leclerc on the podium. So that's a welcome change, as we see the crowd cheering them on. Of course, Alonso doing really well there. As we go on to the actual race results, Alonso beating out Ricciardo by 7.5 seconds, who in turn was 3 seconds ahead of Hulkenberg, who in turn was only slightly ahead of Vettel. Carlos Sainz P5, just ahead of Perez P6. Max Verstappen is in P7, just ahead of Leclerc. Of course, got screwed up by the pit lane, unfortunately. Pierre Gasly P9, and Kimi Raikkonen rounds up the top 10. And of course, the top 10 all separated within 20 seconds, which is second a lap pretty much. So well done there. As you scroll a bit further down, you've got a massive gap between Grosjean and Hartley. And, of course, near the bottom, we have unfortunately got Shady Onyx and Hamilton, of course, both having issues.
The fastest lap though.
You put in the fastest lap? Well, that's one consolation.
By about 6/10.
Well, Hamilton as well putting in the fast lap, so it just shows that those two can be competing at the front. Meanwhile, up at the front is still Leclerc with a 7-point lead over Hamilton, who has an 8-point lead over Hulkenberg, who's now in P3. So getting that podium, he's now jumped into P3 in the standings. And my goodness, have we got a battle from P3 to P9. We've got 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24 and 22. It's like we're doing counting up to 30 again. Hulkenberg 29, ahead of Vettel, ahead of Ricciardo, who actually jumps to quite a lot of positions after that good result. Perez as well in P6 after another good result. And Alonso jumps from last to 7th. And he's just ahead of Verstappen. So all of these guys still have a chance of winning it. Even so, right now it definitely looks like Leclerc and Hamilton are still in the driving seat, even after a botched result. Kimi Räikkönen quite a long way off these guys, sort of the best of the rest, if you like, just ahead of Carlos Sainz, who's in turn ahead of Ocon. As we scroll down the order, we still have quite a few who haven't failed to score a point yet. Noticeably, it is Ericsson, Van Dorn, and Magnussen. Magnussen probably the big surprise out of all of them, considering the likes of Grosjean has actually already scored points. Anyway, that's going to be it. Actually, no, it's not going to be it, because I haven't actually showed the constructors. Nothing really interesting there, apart from the fact that Red Bull inevitably did overtake Alfa Romeo. Of course, there's no way that Leclerc can support that team all by himself. But actually, the battle for P4 is looking really interesting, because Renault, after a mad result, jump all the way up to P4 ahead of Ferrari, who in turn are still ahead of Force India. But that's going to be it for this race. See you next time.